Let's think about the alternatives that are often put forward to explain away the resurrection of Jesus. The first big one is the wrong tomb. People suggest that all the disciples went to the wrong tomb. It was like simply a geographical mistake. They got it wrong. There wasn't Jesus in the tomb, and the tomb was open because they got the wrong one. But you see, that doesn't really answer the question of where the body of Jesus was. And why couldn't the Jewish authorities just say, you went to the wrong tomb, you fool, here's the real one? It doesn't stack up. Another alternative is hallucination. In other words, all the disciples hallucinated. They must have eaten something bad, or maybe because they really lost a loved one and they really wanted to see Jesus again, they had some kind of hallucination. But again, that doesn't answer the question of the missing body and the empty tomb. All the authorities needed to do was to say, you're hallucinating, here's Jesus. But they didn't. Another one is that Jesus fainted on the cross, and that when he was put in the cool tomb, he revived. Now, it's just ridiculous to think that. I mean, Jesus was executed by professional executioners. They knew exactly what they were doing. But let's say, okay, they missed the fact that Jesus had died, even though they really knew a dead body when they saw one. But he didn't die, he just fainted. He had actually been crucified. He had been whipped 39 times before the crucifixion. That's sort of, almost just a breath away from taking his life. He was then crucified, nails through his hands, nails through his feet. He was stuck up on a cross. They speared him, it says, to make sure he was dead. The spear would have gone right through his diaphragm. We're told that blood and water came out. Of course, when blood and water separates in the body, it means you're dead. But, let's say he wasn't. Let's say he fainted. He'd been speared, crucified, whipped, put in a cold tomb, wrapped up with 100 pounds of spices around him and put in a tomb, and then he revives. He has to get out of his grave clothes, leaving them like a cocoon. He has to move a 2-ton rock from the inside, creep past the Roman guards, come up to his friends and say, I am the resurrection and the life. He would have looked like death if that had happened. It just doesn't stack up. Another one is, people say someone stole the body of Jesus from the tomb. But who did that? Did the disciples do it? If the disciples did do it, and we've already seen that it would have been difficult for them to have done that, but if they did, do you know what? They died rather than say they did that. Many of those early disciples died believing that Jesus rose from the dead. If it was the enemies that stole a body, well, why wouldn't they just bring it out when they needed to and say, you believe this, but we stole a body and here he is. None of these stack up. These alternatives are not really alternatives. They're excuses for not believing in this phenomena that Jesus rose from the dead.